This is an excerpt from In Absentia, published October 2020. Boone Creek, New Amsterdam County, New York, 1992. It was 1 in the morning, and Boone Creek was a town in dreams. The only place still open was Dub's Bar. The bar was dead. Joe Digger was passed out on the pool table, and behind the bar his sister Carrie was making a gin and cider cocktail for the only remaining customer. A man in a rain slicker, a pair of yellow-tinted sunglasses, rubbed at his close-shaved scalp and reads a battered book. The stranger had been at the bar since sundown and hadn't spoken except to order drinks. Carrie didn't mind the stranger. Even without her brother conscious, she was more than capable of taking care of herself. The room was dull, save the neon glow of signs in the windows advertising the brands of booze that were here. The flickering light over the pool table, the rainbow-dyed hair of the bartender, and the powerful yellow of the ranger's slicker. In the dark, everything seemed exaggerated. Joe snored softly, and his bulky body seemed to swell unnaturally with each breath. He looked like a denim balloon as his chest rose and sank. Carrie began cleaning glasses and tidying the bar. The stranger simply read and nursed his drink. Outside there was a chorus of crickets and distant barking dogs. All the world seemed at ease. Then, like a bandage torn off slowly, the peace peeled away. A few motorcycles pulled up, and 3 loud, shouting, laughing men crashed the party. They were caricatures of expectation. Leather jackets, tank boots, erratic, greasy hair. The least dirty member of the group ordered for all of them. 6 beers, 3 whiskeys. It was a statement more than a request. Carrie obliged, but looked at her white plastic watch and sighed. "It'll be last call soon." The remark was met with laughter across the room. Joe stopped snoring and rolled off the pool table, with a thud and a moan. "Widow water, maybe." Joe was mumbling as he stood and staggered to the bar. "Bet the muscle car outside is his. Freaky here don't seem the type." One of the bikers snorted as they looked at Joe and the stranger. Carrie poured a cup of coffee for Joe and shook her head. The stranger motioned for another drink and looked back to his book. When the bikers all had their drinks, they went to play pool. Joe looked up from his coffee. "Don't let 'em get to you. There are worse things than being freaky." "Ease up, Joey." Carrie refilled the coffee cup. The stranger closed his book and put a wad of crumpled bills on the bar. "Does the jukebox still work?" The stranger had a smooth voice with a peculiar pop to his consonants. Joe scoffed, and Carrie just replied no. The stranger got up and crossed the room. The jukebox was dusty and neglected. The man bent over and plugged the old machine in. The lights flickered, and in a few seconds, a tinny sound ached out. "I'll be damned." Joe was slack-jawed as an old blues tune began to play. The stranger crossed back to the bar and sat down. In that space of time, the bikers seemed to just get louder and rowdier. "More beers." Carrie just shook her head and called back. "Last call." The stranger politely asked for another drink. When one of the bikers came to grab the beer, the song changed on the jukebox. Carrie stared at the juke in confusion. "What's that shit?" The biker looked at the juke as well. "That would be Grieg." The stranger responded and sipped his drink. "When did old man Dubs put classic on the juke?" Joe looked at Carrie. "There was once a man in the city of Worms with an odd obsession for rules." As the stranger began to speak, one of the bikers began loading the jukebox with quarters.